Hello and welcome back to Redirecting. I want to bring an update to the story, the tragic story of Atatiana Jefferson. We remember her as the young woman who was playing video games with her nephew, and a neighbor saw them 2 o'clock in the morning with the door open, lights on, and decided to call the police for a wellness check. And we see how that turned out. The police arrived, and the utter fear that they feel when they approach a house with a young woman such as Atatiana Jefferson living there caused him to react very quickly to someone who was inside their own home, minding their own business, playing a game with her nephew and checking to see who was on her property, looking around, and she lost her life in the process. That was a very, very tragic story that we all watched, and we got responses where, even the clergy came forward saying, don't you dare try to demonize this young woman, because they were already starting to try to see what they can dig up on her to justify why this poor officer feared for his poor life to the point where he took her life. Okay. Now, the update to this story is the fact that it's being reported that Atatiana Jefferson's mother has passed away. Now, this is months after her daughter lost her life. And if you all remember, her father also passed away a little more than a month, or somewhere around a month after Atatiana lost her life. And so the young woman, her mother, and her father are gone. Now, many are saying that this is quite possible grief that has caused this, and it is very possible. People need to understand that stress and grief can cause someone to lose their life. It can cause sickness. It first starts off with sickness. And the sickness can be a number of different things. And one of the biggest things being stress. Grief and stress, when it takes a toll on your body, it can cause death. Now, we are not saying that this is for sure. Of course, they would like to, they always do autopsies and come up with other explanations. I'm not saying they're going to do one in this case, but we've seen where someone would die as a result of an action by another person, and they would say, well, the autopsy reveals that this person died of XYZ, but they try to unlink it to the fact that XYZ was caused by the stress of a certain situation. So we have a lot of spin doctors in the world who, they all work together to try to clear one another's names and reputations, especially when it's against the seed of Israel. And so this is a very tragic update to this story. It's always sad when you hear someone who grieves themselves to this point. And that is what I believe has happened here. Of course, again, people have their own explanations of what happens in certain situations because no one wants to be held accountable. We're living in the age where no one wants to be held accountable, but they want someone to be accountable for something. Everyone is always trying to point at someone else for something, but never wanting the same to happen to them. We are living in a world where these people, and you all know what I'm talking about, they do things and have done things for centuries and find themselves not guilty. But yet, there's always this whimpering about what others are doing. You see how everyone is either called a thug or a terrorist or a savage or something like that? All of these choice names for other people. And they always want punishment for other people, always pointing at the other people. But they never want to own what they themselves do to others. This is why the Native Americans lost their land. And you have people to this day who say, well, they got a lot of money for that, or this happened or that happened. I heard a guy say that one time. I said, these are some sick people. Anyway, I'm kind of straying off of the original subject. It's very easy to do when you see how all of this stuff actually connects. When you have a mind that connects the dots on everything, you can do that. You will find yourself connecting everything back to this, that, or the other. But ultimately, it all connects back to the Creator, who allows every last bit of this to happen for whatever reason. Some of you can wrap your brain around that. Some of you cannot. Okay, I'm not going to try to explain it in this video. All I know is that Atatiana Jefferson lost her life tragically at the hands of this scared, fearful man. And now her mother and father are both gone as well. They both died. And I'm going to call it grief. It is what it is, family. Here's the update. And with that, I will say shalom. Be sure to ring the bell to be notified of new uploads on this channel. And also comment, share, like, and subscribe.